Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Papago Park in Phoenix. Todd Garbison for Southwest Sports Network, and it's play-by-play coverage of Southwest Woodbat Classics tournament action. And today is the championship game with a 14 and under spring kickoff invitational, and we're underway here, top of the first inning. And on the second pitch, a pop-up that goes into foul territory, and it's put away. As today's championship teams are Wilson MVP and TRex. Both teams go undefeated through pool play. 3-0 teams meeting in the championship game, and by way of lower runs scored, TRex, the home team, Wilson MVP up there, and the leadoff hitter was Brendan Blakeman wearing number 99. He pops out into a foul territory. Now Brian Kalmar is at the plate. A swing and a miss for a strike, and another pitch fouled out of play down the right field side, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. As it is, and we talk about this each time we're out here covering a championship game, both of these teams played in the time slot prior, the 10 o'clock, 10:15 time slot, and they have to move fields, come over here for the championship game, and so takes a little bit of time, of course, for the coaches to get lineups put together and all that, so we're still working on getting those put in, and we'll get those to you as we go through it here this afternoon. A lot of bright sunshine here as we are in the mid-70s today. And that pitch over at the knees on the outside corner, a called third strike, and that's out number 2 as Kalmar strikes out. Oliver Karras, the starting pitcher for TRex. And so he's retired the first 2 hitters and now faces Colton McIntosh. And McIntosh going after the first one, fouls it to the backstop for a strike. Wilson MVP bats 11 in today's championship game, so it's Blakeman, Kalmar, and McIntosh. Gage Carson will bat 4th. Daniel Johnson is 5th. Brennan Kazmarek bats 6th. Ty Cotto is 7th. And then it's Braden Linebrick, Matthew Masiangelo, Brandon Leone, and Nate Campos to round out the order. The next one is low for a ball, and they count 1-1. We'll set the defense for T-Rex if we can get through it here. Austin Thurman starts in left field. Clay Randall's the center fielder, and Garrett Fenderson is in right. Sean Rimmer plays third base. Jack Slominski, the shortstop. Paul Marcello, the second baseman. As that one misses away, 2-1. And then over at first base, Jackson Grace. The catcher is Anthony Laguna. 2 outs, base is empty, just underway, top of the first. And the 2-1 pitch. And that's over belly button high for a strike, and the count's 2-2. Karras with the 2-2. And a ground ball over by the bag at second, and a throw on to first is not in time. And so McIntosh able to leg out the infield single. Not a hard hit ball, but once it got past Karras, you knew it was going to be a close play at first. Marcelo did a nice job to slide over there to get in front of that one and set the feet, and just couldn't get quite enough on the throw. So an infield single. And McIntosh aboard at first for Gage Carson. And the first one over for a strike to Gage Carson. The lead at first, and a pitch fouled out of play on the right field side, and the count goes to 0-2. And the next pitch got in on the hands there, and a roller down the third base side that goes foul. McIntosh with a leadoff first. Another two-strike pitch with a runner going, and the ball hit down the right field side, but it's foul. Now the set and another two-strike pitch just off the outside corner, 1-2. Trying to extend that strike zone a little bit, maybe get Carson to fish for one out of the strike zone, but good plate discipline there to lay off. Toss over to first and the runner back. Wilson MVP, first two hitters retired, a foul out and a strikeout. McIntosh with an infield single, so he's aboard at first. Carson, the number 4 hitter in the lineup, up there with a 1-ball, 2-strike count, and the pitch with a runner going and another grounder foul outside of third base. Now, good battle here in the first inning, and Carson, the number 4 hitter, typically, you know, that position is more of a free swinger, but he has been able to foul off 3 different two-strike pitches to keep the at-bat going, and now hits a line shot back up the middle, but the runner was going, and Marcelo, the second baseman, sliding over to cover, and it turns into a line drive right to Adam, and Carson lines out to end the inning. For Wilson MVP in the top of the first, no runs, a base hit, no errors, and 1 left after a half inning of play. Wilson MVP nothing, and the TRex coming up. And now we start the bottom of the first inning. Jack Slemensky leads off for TRex and takes a strike from Colton McIntosh. Now 1 ball and 1 strike after Slemensky, as the TRex will bat 10. Paul Marcelo bats second and plays second. Clay Randall, the center fielder, is third. Sean Rimmer hits fourth. Garrett Fenderson fifth. And then Jackson Grace, the first baseman, bats sixth. As the pitch is low, and it's 2-1. The number 7 hitter is Austin Thurman. Oliver Karras, the pitcher, is 8th. Anthony Laguna, the catcher, is 9th. And then an extra hitter, Jake Schultz. Next one away. 3 balls and a strike to the leadoff hitter here. And the 3-1, a slow ground ball, picked up over near third, and the throw onto first base is in time, and the leadoff hitter is retired as Linebrick throws out Slemensky at first base. Now Paul Marcelo hitting from the left side, takes an off-speed pitch down to the feet. That's slowing in for ball 1. Now 2 balls and no strikes to Marcelo. Slemensky grounded out to begin the bottom of the first inning for TRex. No score in the bottom of the first inning. The next pitch high, and it's 3-0. And back to it now, a 3-0 pitch, and that's over for a strike, and it's 3-1. McIntosh, 3-1 pitch, and he missed it low. That bounces in and goes to the backstop. Marcelo will be content to stop at first base, but TRex have a base runner in the bottom of the first inning. The batter is Clay Randall. 1 on, 1 out for the center fielder Randall as McIntosh will work out of the stretch. And the first one on the way. Popped up, and that'll get out of play. Back over the dugout on the third base side. The 1-strike pitch. Popped up behind the pitcher's mound, and it's put away for out number 2. Nate Campos with the grab there. And there's 2 away. Runner at first base and 2 away, and an easy toss over to first, and the runner able to dive back. No score, bottom of the first inning. It's the championship game of the 14U Spring Kickoff Invitational. And a breaking ball, that's high. Sean Rimmer, the third baseman at the plate for TRex. Sent for McIntosh in the pitch. Took a little off there. Rimmer out in front, and the count goes to 1-1. Fourth game of the weekend for each of the teams, and again they both go undefeated at 3-0. Go through their pool games as we get into it a little bit later on. The 1-1 pitch and a breaking ball that bounces in and gets away, and that will allow Marcelo to go to second base. So a wild pitch moves a runner into scoring position as we go to 2 balls and a strike on the hitter, Sean Rimmer. And the next one on the way, it's a fastball, maybe crossed up the catcher Cotto. That goes right off the glove, and that sends Marcelo to third base. That'll be a pass ball. Well, Cotto does not go out to talk to McIntosh, so maybe he didn't get crossed up there. Maybe just wasn't able to put a glove on it or hang on to it anyway. And the 3-1, that's hit on the ground over to third. Lineberg has it and throws low, but it's picked out at first base by Carson, and that will end the inning. Rimmer grounds out 5-3 to end the TRex first inning. No runs, no hits, a walk, and a runner left. And after 1 inning of play, there's no score. As Daniel Johnson will lead it off for Wilson MVP in the second. First one from Karras bounces in there for ball 1. Another 1-0 pitch. That's inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Brendan Kazmarek. Ty Cotto will follow for Wilson MVP in the second. And next pitch over for a strike, and the count goes to 2-1. And a fastball on the outside corner, a strike, 2-2. Well, Wilson MVP, a 2-out single in the top of the first inning. Runner left at first. For TRex, a 1-out walk. Runner went to second on a wild pitch, to third on a pass ball, but was stranded after a ground out. And there's a ground ball over to first base, picked up by Grace. And a couple of steps over to the bag at first, and the leadoff hitter retired in the second. 3 unassisted put out of Johnson, and the batter is Brennan Kazmarek. Kaczmarek, the right fielder, in there from the right side and ready. And Karras over the outer half of the plate, a strike, and it's 0-1. Tried to go right back to the same spot, missed a little bit wide that time, and the count goes to 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. That's up and in as Kaczmarek ducks under it, and the count goes to 2-1. And that's popped up right near the mound, and Karras, the pitcher, puts it away. Of course, you say kind of the baseball rule or the adage is that you don't want your pitcher to handle a pop-up, but there maybe wasn't quite enough elevation on that one for any of the other infielders to come in. The other thing about it, especially at this level, a lot of times pitchers are also position players the rest of the weekend, and so can sure handle a pop-up as Ty Cotto is in there and ready. And the first one bounced in for ball one. 2 outs, bases empty, top of the second inning, no score. And there's a swing and a miss for a strike, and it's 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Braden Linebrick next for Wilson MVP. No score, top of the second inning in the championship game. The 1-2. Fastball, that's high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Karras, the right-hander, ready after getting the sign from Laguna. And a ground ball, that's rolled out to short, backhanded by Slemensky, and a throw on to first base. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Oliver Karras and TRex as Wilson MVP goes 3 up and 3 down. After an inning and a half from Papago Park, there's no score. 5, 6, and 7 in the order for TRex at the bottom of the second as Garrett Fenderson leads off. Took a fastball outside and now a swing and a miss. And they count 1-1. McIntosh fastball over the outside corner, a strike, and it's 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch misses away, maybe up a little bit. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jackson Grace, Austin Thurman follow. And the 2-2 bounced in there, and it's 3-2. McIntosh with a 3-2 and lost him. Ball 4. Fenderson walks. Leadoff base runner for TRex in the second inning. They got a 1-out walk in the first, and again got the runner around to third base, but could not get him in. We'll see if they have a better success here in the second inning as Jackson Grace is in from the left side and ready. Easy toss over to first, and diving back is Fenderson. And that's going to bounce in there, and that'll get the runner to second base. So kind of takes away any sort of strategy or decision making, at least at this point as to whether or not you might try to put the runner in motion, try to bunt him over, or what have you. Check back to second, and the 1-0. Took a little off, got it over for a strike, and the count 1-1. Pulled the string again. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. That time called. Fenderson at second and nobody out. Bottom of the second inning and no score. Championship game of the 14U Spring Kickoff Invitational. And a grounder. Foul outside of first base. McIntosh with a look back to second, a 1-2 pitch. Fastball inside, 2-2. And the next one misses outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And McIntosh with a 3-2, and he loses Grace. Ball 4, back-to-back walks now for TRex to set up this second inning. And the batter is Austin Thurman. And before Thurman can hit, we'll get a timeout from the Wilson dugout. Playing in the bottom of the second inning, no score. Thurman ready after the timeout. McIntosh with the first pitch. Near the outside corner, a called strike. Now the bunt shown. And the ball dead and right in front of the plate. That's picked up by McIntosh. He'll throw on to first base. And the sacrifice successful for TRex as Thurman is out 1-3 on the sacrifice. Fenderson goes to third and Grace to second. And the batter is Oliver Karras. McIntosh will work out of the windup here. A couple of runners in scoring position as the corners come up. And the first pitch on the outside corner, a strike. And a swing and a miss for a strike, and it's 0-2. Trying to nibble there, misses outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Second and third with 1 out, the 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Karras swings through the breaking ball to strike out. That's the second out of the inning, first strikeout for Colton McIntosh. And the batter is Anthony Laguna. And the first pitch pops up on the right side. Carson calls for it. And behind the pole, makes the catch. And the inning is over. Another chance here for T-Rex. The first two aboard by way of walks, but they strand two, and after 2 innings of play, there's no score. 8, 9, and 10 in the order for Wilson. MVP in the third as Braden Linebrick takes the first one high for a ball. And the next pitch outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0 pitch. That's low. 3 balls and no strikes. And a fastball high. 4-pitch walk to start the third. As Linebrick goes to first base, and the batter is Matthew Masiangelo. The runner takes off. If the ball is bunted, they flip onto first base, and Masiangelo is out number 1, but a successful sacrifice. 1-3 on the putout as Linebrick goes to second, and the batter is Brandon Leone. First one to Leone outside for a ball. Yeah, swing and a miss. Pitch up out of the strike zone there, and the count 1-1. Ground ball will get the runner up as Marcelo fields and throws to Grace at first, and Leone is out number 2. A 4-3 ground out as Linebrick moves to third, and the batter is Nate Campos. Campos, the number 11 hitter in the order, so the leadoff spot due up next as the first one is outside for ball 1. Yeah, the next one over for a strike, and it's 1-1. The set and the 1-1 pitch. A called strike, and it's 1-2. Linebrick at third with 2 away, no score, top of the third, and the 1-2 pitch. Popped up, and that's fouling out of play on the third base side. And ball's going to get to the backstop, and that's going to bring in the first run of the ball game as Linebrick scores from third. And Wilson MVP manufacturing a run, then a leadoff walk. Sacrifice got the runner to second. A ground ball on the right side of the infield moved him to third. And then scoring on the ball to the backstop as Campos swings and misses and strikes out to end the third inning. But Wilson MVP gets on the scoreboard. They get a run without a base hit, and after 2.5, Wilson MVP leads T-Rex 1-0. 10-1 and 2 in the order for T-Rex in the bottom of the third as Jake Schultz takes high for ball one. And the next pitch outside, 2-0. And the 2-0 pitch. A slow ground ball, foul outside of third, and it's 2-1. McIntosh misses, and it's 3 balls and a strike. And a high for ball 4. Leadoff walk for T-Rex, the 4th walk given up by Colton McIntosh. But he's been able to pitch around him through the first couple of innings. We'll see what happens here in the third as we move to the top of the order for T-Rex. Jack Slominski, the shortstop, steps in. He grounded out his first time up. Easy throw to first and the runner back. And the first one bounced in. That'll get away, and that'll get the runner to second base. So Schultz to second on a wild pitch. The 1-0 popped up. Campos going back on the outfield grass, makes the catch. And that's out number 1. Runner at second and 1 out for Paul Marcello. He goes after the first one and fouls it straight back and out of play. McIntosh with the pitch. And that's popped up right near the plate. And not able to get to it. The catcher, Cotto, flips the mask off and gets turned around, but can't get back to it. Check back to second base. And the 2-strike pitch. And that's lifted out to right field. Coming in, Kazmarek makes the catch, 2 away. So Marcelo, after a walk in the first, now a fly out in the third, and brings up Clay Randall. Randall popped out to Campos, the second baseman, back in the first. Turn back to second, but no throw. And the first pitch over for a strike. Runner at second base with 2 outs in the third. T-Rex trailing Wilson MVP 1-0. as the next one's over for a strike, and it's 0-2. McIntosh looks back in the 0-2 with a runner going, a breaking ball high, throw it down to third base. That's going to bounce, and Wilson MVP fortunate there. Linebrick able to get a glove on it, at least to knock it down. So Schultz steals third. One ball, two strikes on Randall, and the pitch is a fastball outside, 2-2. And the 2-2. A swing and a miss, swung over the top of it there to strike out, and that ends the inning. Again, McIntosh able to pitch around a leadoff walk in the third. Runner gets around to third base, but not able to get him in. The T-Rex failed to score, and after three, they trail Wilson MVP 1-0. Top of the order for Wilson MVP in the fourth inning. Brennan Blakeman takes low for ball one. Blakeman fouled out to Rimmer, the third baseman, to start the ball game. The 1-0, and that's fouled out of play on the right side, and they count 1-1. And Wilson MVP 3-0 through pool play to get them into this championship game. They beat the Scottsdale Demons 8-0. Beat Scorpions Black by that same score 8-0, and then beat the Chandler D-backs 9-5. Pitch outside for a ball, 2-1. Calmar and McIntosh follow for Wilson MVP in the top of the fourth. And the 2-1 knocked out a play down the right side, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wilson MVP leading 1-0. They got a run without a base hit in the top of the third inning. A 2-2, and that's fouled off. But it was Braden Linebrick that walked to start the third inning. Matthew Masiangelo with a sacrifice to get him to second. And then Brandon Leone hit a ground ball on the right side of the infield. That got Linebrick to third. And then he was able to score on a pitch that went to the backstop. There's a ground ball. Slominski by the bag. Throws short, and Grace not able to pick it out at first base. And that's going to get the runner to second. So a 2-base throwing error puts Blakeman aboard at second base. And the batter is Brian Calmar. First pitch to Calmar high for a ball. Brian called out on strikes his first time up. The 1-0 pitch, and a swing and a miss. That one up out of the strike zone, and the count goes to 1-1. Now the bunt shown, and the fastball misses outside, and it's 2-1. Look back to second no throw. Maybe that wasn't the intent anyway. What maybe was the intent was to see what Kalmar was going to do, and he did shorten the bunt. So we'll see if he does it again here. Corners up for TRex. And the ball bunted hard down the first baseline. Grace has it. Throwing to Marcelo, covering at second, and they get the out. 3-4 on the sacrifice as Blakeman moves to third base. And with one out, the batter is Colton McIntosh. Top of the fourth inning, 1-0 Wilson MVP, and they're looking for another one here as the first one of McIntosh is low for ball one. I was wondering, the TRex squad did not have the infield in. Now they do bring them in as the next one is low 2-0. You can argue that it's still early in the ball game, top of the fourth inning, but runs at a premium at least through the first portion of the ball game. So TRex will try to cut off the runner at the plate as the next one is low for a ball 3-0. Set from Karras, the 3-0 pitch. Gets that one over for a strike, and it's 3-1. A 3-1 pitch, and that misses for ball 4. McIntosh walks. And with Blakeman at third and one out, the batter is Gage Carson. But first, a timeout from the TRex dugout. Playing in the top of the fourth inning, Wilson MVP leads TRex 1-0. Carson going after the first pitch, fouls it back and out of play. And with that runner aboard at first base, now the middle infielders play back, hoping to turn a double play to get out of the inning. Runner from first goes, the pitch over for a strike, to throw cut off. And so Blakeman stays at third, but McIntosh with a steal, so he's in scoring position, and now the infield should come back in again for TRex, and they do. Second and third with one out. Karras ahead of Carson, no balls and 2 strikes. And a line drive, that's trouble down the line, and that's a fair ball. That's going to bring home a couple of runs as Carson is on his way to second base. And he'll stop there with a 2-run double, and it's 3-0 Wilson MVP. Just the second base hit of the ball game, but it comes at a big time for Wilson MVP. A 2-run double for Carson, and now he's at second base with one out for Daniel Johnson. The first pitch over for a strike. And a ground ball, that's fielded and then dropped, and then a low throw, but Grace picks it out there. Well, a lot of stuff happening there for Karras, but ultimately able to get the out at first base. 1-3 on the ground out. Carson goes to third, and with 2 away, the batter is Brennan Kazmarek. First one bounced in. That'll go to the backstop, and that'll get in run number 4 for Wilson MVP as Carson scores on the wild pitch. Four nothing our scores. Wilson MVP has scored 3 times in the 4th inning. And Kazmarek lifts a fly ball out to right field. And Fenderson under it puts it away, and that will end the inning. But again, Wilson MVP scores 3 times in inning number 4. They do it on 1 hit. There was 1 error and no runners left on base after 3.5. Wilson MVP leads T-Rex 4-0. Sean Rimmer starts things out for T-Rex in the bottom of the 4th inning. It takes a breaking ball from McIntosh for a strike. And now the 0-1. Fastball, that's off the plate, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. That's high, 2 balls and a strike. Rimmer grounded out to end the 1st inning, now leading off the 4th. Time called for T-Rex in their pool play. They beat Scorpions White 12-1. The AGBC Raptors 7-0, and then earlier today the Chandler Cougars 8-2. Final on that one is the next one is low, 3 balls and a strike. The 3-1 to Rimmer. And a ground ball, fielded in the hole at short. The throw on to first is not going to be in time, and that's the first hit of the ball game for T-Rex. It's the leadoff hitter in the 4th inning, Sean Rimmer, with an infield single. Now Fenderson with a ground ball. That's picked up by Carson over at first. Gets the out there and then tries to throw to second. That's not going to be in time. Fenderson a 3 unassisted ground out, and there's 1 away. Rimmer at second, and the batter is Jackson Grace. First one to Grace low for a ball. Jackson walked his first time up. And a swing and a miss for a strike, and it's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. That's high from McIntosh, 2-1. McIntosh with a 2-1. That's down at the feet for a ball, 3-1. Look back, the 3-1. And that's high for ball 4. So Grace walks for the 2nd time. That puts another runner aboard for T-Rex here in the 4th. And the batter is Austin Thurman. Thurman with a swing and a miss for a strike. Austin with a sacrifice his first time up. Pretty good spot there. Call the ball, and it's 1-1. That bounces in. That'll go to the backstop. And the runners move up 90 feet. So that'll put another runner in scoring position with one out. Two balls and a strike on Thurman in the pitch. Pop up, just back on the outfield grass, put away by Kalmar, the shortstop. Now 2 away in the T-Rex 4th inning, and the batter Oliver Karras. Oliver struck out back in the 2nd. Chance to help himself out here, though, if he can come up with a 2-out base hit with a couple of men in scoring position. Chance to maybe cut the deficit in half. And there's a ground ball out to short. Kalmar has it. He'll throw on to first base. And that is in time. And the T-Rex are turned away in the 4th inning. No runs. They do get their first base hit of the ball game. There was also a walk. They leave 2, and that's 6 runners left down for T-Rex through 4 innings. And after 4, they trail 4-0. Cotto starts it off in the 5th inning for Wilson MVP. 7, 8, and 9 in the order as the first pitch went to the backstop for ball 1. And the next pitch low, and it's 2-0. Swing and a miss for a strike, 2-1. Cotto grounded out to short to end the 2nd inning for Wilson MVP. And another one fouled off, and it's 2-2. Linebrick and Masiangelo to follow for Wilson MVP. In the top of the 5th, it's the championship game of the 14U Spring Kickoff Invitational, put on by Southwest Woodbat Classics. Now 3-2 to Cotto. And a swing, maybe a foul tip into the glove, and Cotto strikes out. Now Linebrick, who walked and scored in the 3rd. First one over for a strike. 4 runs, 2 hits, no errors for Wilson MVP. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for T-Rex. It's fouled out of play, and it's 0-2. And another number that's a factor here so far anyway. T-Rex with 6 runners left on. Wilson MVP just 1 runner left on base. They had 1 runner on in the 3rd. That runner scored, and they had 3 reach in the 4th, and all 3 of those scored. And a grounder foul down the right side. 1 out, base is empty, top of the 5th, 4-0 Wilson MVP. That's tapped foul at the plate. There's a line drive, and that's caught by the shortstop, Sleminski. Line drive kind of tailing away from Sleminski, and he leaves his feet to bring it in for out number 2. Yeah, Masiangelo. Going after the first one, knocks it foul. And out of play over on the left side. Off the end of the bat and going to the backstop, and it's 0-2. 2 outs, base is empty in the top of the 5th for Wilson MVP. And that's at the knees, a called third strike, fooled him on the pitch. And that ends the inning. 3 up and 3 down for Wilson MVP in the 5th. We go to the bottom of inning number 5 from Papago Park. Wilson MVP leads TRex by a score of 4-0. Swing and a miss to begin the bottom of the 5th inning, and a pinch hitter up there for TRex as Clark Candiotti gets things started. Takes the next one low. Next one misses high and outside, 2-1. Soft little pop-up, might be some trouble there, but McIntosh makes a nice athletic play to reach out and get that one, and that's the first down in the 5th. Now the batter, Jake Schultz. Going after the first one, fouls it back. Bottom part of the order for TRex, and they've had some chances. Again, still only one base hit, an infield single to begin the 4th. There's a line shot, and that's a base hit. That gets into the outfield. So Schultz with a 1-out single, and he's on at first base. Turn the order over again, and the batter is Jack Sleminski. But 3 innings in a row where TRex got the leadoff hitter aboard, and they were not able to get a run in. They've had a base runner in every inning as that pitch is high for ball 1. Wilson MVP, on the other hand, got the leadoff hitter aboard in the 3rd. That runner scored. Had it happen again in the 4th, and they scored 3 times. Easy throw to first, and the runner dives back. Ball lifted out of play down the right side. 1 on, 1 out, 1 ball, 1 strike the count. T-Rex trailing Wilson MVP 4-0 as they bat in the bottom of the 5th. And that's foul back and out of play. And the count 1-2. And there's a line drive, but that's caught. And, well, no throw over to first base. They were going to have a chance to double up the runner, but Campos makes the catch on the line drive. Schultz had to react quickly there as he was headed for second base and was able to slam on the brakes to turn around and get back to first. So Schultz still on at first with 2 away for Paul Marcello. First pitch misses for a ball. And that's off the end of the bat. Soft little line drive, and that's caught by the second baseman Campos. Just on the end of the glove, they were able to haul it in, showing a little range. And he brings in a line drive, soft little liner anyway, but brought it in, and that ends the inning. No runs, a base hit. Another runner left down for T-Rex. They've left 7 on after 5 innings, and through 5, they trail Wilson MVP 4-0. First pitch over for a strike to Brandon Leon. Nice pitch high, and it's 1-1. Leon grounded out in the 3rd. Swing and a miss for a strike, and it's 1-2. Fastball misses outside, 2-2. Wilson MVP with a run in the 3rd without a base hit. And then they scored 3 times in the 4th, only 1 of those runs earned. An error started the inning. A ground ball foul. The 2-ball, 2-strike pitch is outside and high, 3-2. Bullpen activity again for the T-Rex squad. They had him up back in the 4th. Close but called a ball, and Leon walks to start the 6th. And if history's any indication, at least for this ball game, if, as I just talked about in the last half inning, if Wilson gets the leadoff hitter aboard, they get him around and in. We'll see if it happens here in the top of the 6th. I would expect at the bottom of the order that Campos will be bunting here. He takes high. Runner's going to go on a straight steal, and no throw down to second. Look back to second, but no throw. Turn back. This time they'll throw back. That's off the glove. And the runner's going to try for third base. Here comes the throw. And it's in time. Randall with a strong throw from center field as that ball glanced off the glove of Slominski. went into shallow right center, and a little bit of hesitation from the runner Leon. Then he tried to take off, and Randall throws him out at third base. Well, that's bounced in. That'll go to the backstop. Pitch high, 3-0. And that's high and away for ball 4. Walking the number 11 hitter in the order, and that might do it for Paris. We get a timeout from the TRex dugout. Playing in the top of the 6th inning, 4-0 Wilson MVP. They lead in the 14U Spring Kickoff Invitational Championship game. Brendan Blakeman in as the throw goes to first, and it gets away. The ball goes out of play down that line, and so Campos is stopped at second base, but it'll go as an error, the second error of the ball game for TRex, and a runner into scoring position. New pitcher is Michael Rossi. And pitch over for a strike to Blakeman. Brendan 0 for 2. Reached on an error and scored his last time up. The 1-strike pitch. And that's a lined drive. Actually got a little more air under it to it, and a diving catch in left field. That's put away by Thurman. A nice play out there in left. That ball sinking. Thurman had to go a long way to get that one. He leaves his feet and brings it in for the second out. And Brian Kalmar takes high for a ball. Top of the 6th inning, Wilson MVP leading 4-0. And that's a fly ball. That's hit pretty well out to left field, but that's put away by Thurman. And a good job by Rossi to come in and get the last couple of outs here in the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, an error, and a runner left on after 5.5. Wilson MVP still leads 4-0. Three, 4, and 5 of the order. Clay Randall leads off the end of the bat. A tapper out in front of the plate that McIntosh fields and throws in time to first base to retire Randall. Now Sean Rimmer. Rimmer had the first hit of the ball game for TRex, a leadoff single, infield single, in the bottom of the 4th. Takes a breaking ball low and outside, ball 1. Ball hit out to shallow right center, and another nice play by Campos, the second baseman. Gets out there and then stays with it to haul it in for out number 2. Brings up Garrett Fenderson, who walked in the 2nd and grounded out in the 4th. Takes a breaking ball outside, ball 1. Ball fouled off, and it's 1-1. Again, T-Rex have had a base runner, at least one in every inning. 2 base hits, 5 walks, and they've stranded all 7. That ball out into shallow center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Hit number 3 in the ball game for T-Rex. Jackson Grace at the plate now for T-Rex. Couple of walks in 2 trips. And a slow ground ball over on the right side. That's picked up, and a tap of the bag at first will end the inning. As Grace grounds out 3 unassisted. No runs, a base hit, and another runner left on. That's 8 runners left on through 6 for T-Rex. And after 6 innings of play, they trail Wilson MVP 4-0. Three, 4, and 5 of the order for Wilson in the 7th. Colton McIntosh takes outside for a ball. Now 2 balls and no strikes. New catcher in there for T-Rex as Tanner Graham takes over behind the plate. Next one outside, 3-0. Give you the line for T-Rex starter Oliver Karras in a moment here as it's ball 4. McIntosh goes to first base. And the batter will be Gage Carson, but Karras, the starter for T-Rex, he goes 5 1/3 innings, allows just 2 base hits, 4 runs but only 2 earned, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. He threw 92 pitches. Pitch inside as the runner goes. The throw to second base is not in time, and McIntosh steals second. Pitch over the outside corner is strike, and it's 1-1. Check of the runner, the 1-1 pitch. That's inside. That got a piece of Carson, and he'll go to first base. Daniel Johnson at the plate as the runners take off, and no throw. The 1-0 pitch as the infield comes in. Misses outside, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. That's high for a ball, 3-0. The look over to third, the 3-0 pitch. That's high, that's off the glove. Runner thought about going, but McIntosh thought better of it. And with the walk to Johnson, that loads the bases. A walk, a hit batter, and a walk. And Wilson MVP's got the bases loaded with nobody out in the top of the 7th, already leading 4-0. And the batter is Brennan Kazmarek. Swinging on the first pitch. Going to go home for the out. On to first base. And a double play. Now time called. And they're going to ask if the base umpire will ask for some help from his partner as to whether or not Grace was on the bag at first. And I guess they're going to leave him on at first base, so they will overrule that call. Or overturn the call, I guess. McIntosh is forced for the only out, and then Kazmarek aboard on a fielder's choice as the pitch to Cotto misses for ball one. Next one up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. And a fly ball down the left field line into foul territory. And a foul ball. Thurman lays out again. This one head first. Not able to haul it in. There's a ground ball. You get the out at second, on to first base. And this time it's a double play. A 6-4-3 double play to end the inning and prevent Wilson MVP from adding on in the top of the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, and a couple of runners left on. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Wilson MVP leading TRex 4-0. First pitch outside for a ball as we start the bottom of the 7th, and a ground ball fielded behind the bag, and a nice play over at first base as Masiangelo's in there at first now for Wilson MVP. Michael Rossi at the plate. And he takes ball one. A swing and a miss. And it's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. That's outside. 2 balls and a strike. And a slow tapper. McIntosh fields and throws to first base. And there's 2 down. Now Tanner Graham, as the TRex are down to their final out. That one fouled back. 2 outs, bases empty, bottom of the 7th inning. T-Rex down 4-0. Fastball high. One and two on Graham. Pitches outside, 2-2. Jake Schultz next for T-Rex. Next one inside. Wilson MVP with a run in the 3rd and 3 in the 4th, and that's been it. Grounder foul. And the pitch is low for ball 4. So Graham walks, and Schultz comes to the plate. Sixth walk of the ball game, given up by Colton McIntosh. But again, he's been able to pitch around trouble the entire game. He's had a base runner on in every inning. And first one is Schultz over for a called strike. The 0-1 pitch. Took a little off, and that's a liner, and that's down into left field, a base hit. And now 2 aboard. Now Jack Sleminski as I get to the top of the order. Still, though, 2 outs in the inning. First pitch high for ball 1. Leminski 0 for 3, a ground out, a pop out, and a line out. Next pitch high, 2-0. And time called from the Wilson MVP dugout just as they get a right-hander up and is starting to get loose in their bullpen. We play in the bottom of the 7th, 4-0 our score. Ground ball out to short, could end it, and they'll go the short way to second, and that will do it as Schultz is 4-6-4. It's a fielder's choice off the bat of Jack Sleminski, and T-Rex are turned away in the 7th. No runs, a hit, plus a walk, and they leave a couple of runners on base. We go final 4-0, the final score in this championship game. Totals on the ball game. For Wilson MVP in the win, 4 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 4 left. For T-Rex, no runs on 4 hits. They commit 2 errors and leave 10 runners on base. So that'll do it as we want to say congratulations to Wilson MVP. They are the champions in the 14-under Spring Kickoff Invitational put on by Southwest Wood Bat Classic. So that'll do it from Papago Park. Again, our final score, Wilson MVP 4 and T-Rex 0 from Papago Park in Phoenix. Todd Garbison for Southwest Sports Network saying so long, and we hope to talk to you again soon.